What's up, people? Today we're going to be talking about Wuthering Waves 1.1. I'm going to be giving my first thoughts and where I think the game is going from here. So first off, we have the story. I think the story is in a really great direction. I like the idea they had with it. It was very interesting. I like the idea of the rover being the master of Zhuai, the Sentinel. It gives a lot more backstory and a lot more lore to the rover themselves. It really does. It tries something new and it tries something fresh, which is good because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like the original 1.0 story. I thought that one was kind of lame and it was very hard to sit through. This did a much better job to explain what was going on and explain what was happening. The whole idea of time being stagnant and being sped up and slowed down, and I'm a sucker for stories that have to do with time. I'm a huge time guy, so this story really, it hit home for me, so I actually really enjoyed it. And this does set up for new Sentinels. It sets up for new ideas in the story. I think we're gonna go pretty far with this story. I think it's a really great story. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it around a 9.5, almost a 10, but a 9.5, because there was a few things that could have just been left out. Like they did the classic over explanation, which is fine. You know, you got to pad out time somehow, so they added in a few extra sentences that could have been left out, which is fine. But yeah, that's how I feel about the story, around a 9.5. Next up, we have the characters. There were two new characters. One was playable, one isn't. Jinshi is playable, Changli is not. We're gonna talk about Changli first because she's not out yet, so there's a lot less to talk about her, but man, she is absolutely gorgeous. Probably my favorite character in Wuthering Waves and one of my favorite designed characters of all time. In my opinion, she has peak character design. She is perfect looking, and I really have no complaints on her looks. During the story, you did get to play with Changli for a little bit. I thought her kit was very interesting. I was stupid and I never went into the inventory and I looked at her kit. I just played her. So from what I do know, she does have a very interesting kit, and I do think she's going to be another really good fucking character, but we'll just have to wait and see when she comes out. Jinshi, however, Jinshi, is that how you pronounce her name? I think it's Jinshi. Jinshi? I don't know how to say her name. I'm just going to call her Jinshi. Jinshi, insane. Probably the best character in the game, not even close. Before that, it was Jian. I don't even think she can be comparable to Jian. Comparing Jian to Jinshi is like comparing Jingliu to Acheron in Honkai Star Rail. It's just not even close. She's in a league of her own. She does a stupid amount of damage. She has a interesting mechanic where you have to, if you want to hit really high numbers, you have to charge up her bar and her meter. But honestly, it's not really that difficult to play her. You can do simple stuff. If you use Taochi, which by the way, Taochi's coming back into being used, good. If you use Taochi, you can buff her skill damage, which her skill is going to be the main thing that does damage. And yeah, she's a really strong character, probably going to be strong for a really long time, unless there's a enemy who is resistant to spectro damage. But other than that, she is strong against quite literally everything in this game. I was able to beat up to Crownless tier 3 with her, and she wasn't even like max level or anything. So she is a very strong character. And I don't like talking about power creep because power creep is such a boring conversation, but it is something that will happen eventually. I think this is probably going to, having this happen this fast is not a good thing, because this is going to lead into power creep really quickly. But we are in an early stage of the game, so I don't think it's a super big issue. There's going to be a lot more characters out. There's going to be a lot more kits out. We still only have Verena and Bai Z as healers, so there's not a lot out right now. But I do think power creep will at some point start happening, which is fine. That's how you keep the game fresh and interesting, but it will happen eventually. Next up, we have the new location, Mount Firmament. I actually really love Mount Firmament. I think it's very pretty. It's very stunning. I do love the fucking the mountain being the dragon itself, I think that's really, really cool. Especially lore-wise, it's really cool and unique. I think it's just really fun to explore. I love the interactive map. I think that's a great addition, and I really can't wait for it to be added into the original map, Jinso. There's really nothing I can complain about Mount Firmament as a location itself. I think all the puzzles and the challenges were really fun to do. The new enemies were also really cool. Like, I love all the designs of the enemies. I think the only one I don't really like is the I don't know its name. It's like the ice worm thing that pops up out of the ground. I don't really like that one, but I think the dodo bird is funny. The clang bangs, the little ice cubes are pretty cool. The light crusher is so fucking cool, man. He is so cool. But yeah, I have literally no complaints about that. The events, I can't really say much about the events since we haven't gotten everything, but from first impressions, I thought the photo event was better than expected, but it's not really what I wanted to do. It didn't take too long, so I'm glad for that. We could have gotten something else. The other event was also, it's just an exploration event. It's just telling you to go do things you were already planning on doing, so that's fine. Yeah, but I would have preferred better from the photo event. Maybe do something more unique, more interesting. I will say I am super excited for the new Depths of Elusive Realm that is coming in July 4th, I think. That will be really fun to play. I will be doing a video on that. I know they said that Jin Si and Chang Li will be playable characters in the Depths of Elusive Realm. Obviously, Chang Li will have to wait until she comes out, but I think that'll be really fun. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The Depths of Elusive Realm is my favorite game mode, is my favorite thing to do in all of Wuthering Waves. It's honestly really fun. And speaking of Chang Li, I cannot wait for her banner. I really can't. I probably will be spending money as always, as I normally do. I still have, well, I think I actually deleted it. I had a video of me pulling Jin Si, but I think pulling videos are so like hard to do, man, because you're not doing anything else. You're just pulling the character. So unless I pull the character and then I do something else in that video with the character, then there's no point in uploading it. I literally, all I did was I spent money, I pulled on the character, I got the character, and that's it. I did, funny story. I got the character, I got Jin Si, and I got another 5-star. I got who did I get? I forgot, it doesn't matter. I got another 5-star on top of Jin Si. So I guaranteed my Chang Li pull. And then while I was just doing some random pulls to build up pity, I got another Jin Si early. I got another Jin Si on like my 9th pull. So I have E1 Jin Si, or Wave Plate 1 Jin Si, which I'm kind of upset about because I don't want Jin Si at Wave Plate 1. I kind of just want Chang Li, but you know what? Whatever, we'll accept it. That's my second Wave Plate 1 character because my Yin Lin is Wave Plate 1. Coincidentally, the same reason, because I was trying to build up pity and I just got the character. I still haven't gotten her weapon. I am close though, so I should be able to get it in the next couple of days. So yeah, she's really good, really strong character. Chang Li, that's who I'm really gunning for though. Like, that's who I really care about from this update. I originally thought that Chang Li was coming first, but now, now that after I played the story, it actually makes sense that Jin Si is first. So I am kind of upset about that, but I will be pulling for Chang Li. I'll probably make a video on it because she is just so perfect in every single way. They added in technically speaking, they added in 2 new boss fights, the hologram version of Crimeless and then Zhui Yi, the new Sentinel boss. Zhui Yi is cool. I do have some complaints about Zhui Yi, not all complaints, and I think honestly, overall the boss is really fun, but there's this problem where, and it might just be me, but there's this problem where a lot of the times I can't hit the boss because it's flying, and a lot of my attacks miss, I can't build up energy, so it really sucks, and it's really annoying to play against, especially when you're trying to farm for materials, or if you're trying to farm for a good echo drop. But other than that, I think the boss is really cool looking. I've always been a fan of like long dragons, not like your typical standard dragons, like what's a dragon everybody knows? I can't think of anything right now, but I've always been a fan of like the long, like snake type dragons, like something similar to Rayquaza. I've always been a fan of Rayquaza. He's honestly one of my favorite Pokemon. So I like dragons who look like that, and Zhui Yi is very similar to Rayquaza. So I think Zhui Yi has a really good design. I really, really like her attacks. Her attacks remind me of a FromSoft game. Like currently, I'm recording an entire playthrough of Elden Ring, which will be coming up pretty soon. But her Zhui Yi's attacks feel like they are from a FromSoft game, and it feels like they took inspiration from like bosses in Elden Ring to make Zhui's attacks. Like, they're so fluid, they're dynamic. A lot of the times you can't really just parry, you have to dodge, which I think is it's interesting. So I actually really like the boss fight. It's just I do have that one complaint where sometimes it's hard to hit her because she's flying. So that's kind of an issue, but other than that, I think she's cool. I think the Echo is the Echo version of her is really cool. I like pairing that with Jin C and just doing a stupid amount of damage. Yeah, I don't really have a ton of complaints about 1.1. I thought 1.1 is a just complete step up from 1.0. And this is what I was saying in my other video that I made on Wuthering Waves, like my account review after a month. This is what I was saying before. A game has to not just fix the issues they're having, but they have to improve upon what they had originally. So this is exactly what Kuro Games is doing. They're not just fixing the issues that was in 1.0, they're improving on the issues in 1.0. So I would not be surprised if in some later patches, maybe 1.2, we get a lot more quality of life changes instead of a lot like bigger changes. Because this update it's a lot of bigger changes. There's a lot more events, there's a new location. I'm assuming in 1.2 we probably won't get a new location, but we'll get a lot of quality of life changes. So that is something to look forward to. I think quality of life is very important, especially when you're making a live service game. Quality of life should always be your number one in a live service game. So there's that. And also another problem, which this goes back to the original thing I was saying. There isn't a lot to do in 1.1 of Wuthering Waves on launch. Obviously, we have more events coming throughout the entire event, but what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to stretch out the events as much as possible to give people as much content as possible. This is all because they had to avoid the release time of Zenless Zone Zero, because if they released on the same time, people would be looking at Zenless Zone Zero, nobody would be looking at Wuthering Waves. So they had to push everything early, which means they have to stretch out all the content, which is why we're not getting a ton of content day one, which I think is fine. That's not an issue. That it makes sense for them to avoid Zenless Zone Zero's update rather than give people everything on day one. So I think this is fine that we had a lack of content. I don't see it as an issue. Not like I'm playing for 8 hours a day anyways. I log on, I use my my resin, and then I leave. That's it. So yeah, I think overall I will probably give 1.1 probably a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. I have basically zero complaints about it. There's not a lot of issues I have with 1.1. I had a lot of fun playing through the story, doing the farming the Zhui boss fight so I can get a good echo on my Jin C. That was really fun. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited for what they're gonna do coming 1.2, 1.3, you know, so on and so forth. I think this is a very, very good direction we're heading in with this game. And yeah, if you guys like this video, you know, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you think about Wuthering Waves 1.1, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.